Welcome to assignment one. I'm really glad you stopped by to pay me a visit in here, and hopefully I can give you a little help on getting you through this first assignment. The first thing that we have to deal with is the book situation. A number of you have encountered difficulties getting the correct literature book, this e-fictions text. And hopefully I can solve it right now. I had used fictions for many years in various editions, and I always liked the selection of short stories they had to offer. Somewhere along the way, they lost their direction and they decided to offer up texts to instructors where they could select their own stories and that they would create a book for them. The only problem is that they use the same title of the book and pretty much in many instances the same cover but a different ISBN number. This led to a lot of confusion. When people try to sell those that were made specifically for an instructor, they obviously didn't fit the standard edition. I use the standard edition. It should have 909 pages. I would hope that you found the correct one. Let me know if you're having difficulties. The other two books shouldn't really provide a great problem. The step-by-step, it doesn't matter what edition you get, they're all pretty much the same as I said before. And the grammar text, if you already have one, that's fine. If not, what I've made was just a reasonable suggestion for you to use. I happen to like that text. That doesn't mean you have to. All right. So hopefully that takes care of the book situation. And I'd like to thank those of you who've already sent in emails. It's nice to know there's somebody out there. Now, a number of you are going to have special needs. And if you are disabled in any way, shape, or form, you are probably connected to DSP&S at the college. If you are, please let me know so we can make whatever necessary arrangements we might need to make sure that you're successful in this class. Please let me know. Don't worry about it. We can work it out somehow. All right. The next thing has to do with writing. And many of you are going to have some difficulties with writing. And you don't have a classroom experience talking to me over a computer monitor, maybe even you might even be looking at me over a cell phone is not going to get you the help you need to, write a good paper. And we offer tutoring at a place called the Writing Cafe. This is located on the second floor of the ED building on campus in the tutoring center. You should be able to find it. They are listed on the website, and you should be able to find it if you go up there. You can make an appointment with them. They do have some group lessons, and I think you'll find it a worthwhile experience, particularly if you have difficulties. Many of my students in the past have used this and have been successful because of it. So take a look up there, especially if you're having difficulties. All right, let's get back to what we're going to do for assignment one. The first thing you may want to do has to do with the discussion board. And you'll see that on the Blackboard menu, the main Blackboard menu. And what it is, it's an opportunity for you to post instructions or answers to questions I've posed or what have you. And the one this time has to do with telling all of us about yourself, because this discussion board, can be viewed by everyone in the class and they can all take a look and see who you are. So be careful of what you put down, and what you're going to do is talk about who you are, where you're from, what you're interested in, what you want. Don't make it too long, but just tell us what you want us to know about you. Um, I went to a commuter school like you are now. I took the subway in the morning to get to class. I went to my classes, I got back on the subway and came home. And Citrus is no different except you have a parking lot. We didn't have a parking lot. Um, you miss a lot by not being involved directly by living, with other students, and everything else. And you miss even more by not even having to go to school. I mean, many of you can be in your pajamas. I'm not. I have to put a shirt on because, I have to make myself presentable for you. But it does. We are interested in knowing who you are, and this will make it a little bit more personal. So please, do your best to give us some nice answers and everything else, and it'll give me an idea of who I'm dealing with, and it'll give you an idea of some of your classmates, and maybe you can actually make contact with them and come up with a new relationship. I don't mean that kind, but an intellectual relationship and um, a good relationship with somebody. You make contacts. You need to network because jobs are not going to be easy to find out there, and it's nice to get to know people. All right. After you've done that little posting, um, you'll get 5 points for it, by the way. As long as you do it, you get 5 points. Watch your language. Don't tell people things you really don't want them to know. You can do it. It's nice. The second thing you're expected to do is read a story called Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. It's a story written around the turn of the century, but not this century, the century before. And it deals with the relationship between a man and a woman. And it's very short. You'll like that. And I think it poses some interesting questions about how we see each other and how we deal with situations. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but I think you'll find it interesting, and think you'll find a nice, ironic turn at the end of the story. So hopefully you will enjoy this story. Now, what you're going to have to do, what you're going to have to turn in, is worth 10 points. And you will get some portion of those 10 points for what you turn in. I call them SAS sheets. Um, I guess I got the beginnings of them from a man named Mr. Kroll who taught at Vanderchild's High School in the Bronx in the 1970s. And that kind of started me off, and this form is pretty much built from that. If you go to course materials, you will find a literature section. And inside the literature section, you will find an SAS sheet you can download. As a matter of fact, you should find it on the assignment page. You should be able to download that. Just type it in and send it in. Send it in to turn it in, and you should be able to figure it out. You shouldn't have too much difficulty doing it. There are sheets that are completed in the literature section, samples that I've looked at from students from other time, from other terms and everything else, and you'll see what I expect. You will also see a definitions sheet which will tell you what all those questions represent. You will also find that Chapter 1 of Step-by-Step Writing About Literature has a form that's similar to, but not exactly the same as the one I use. Obviously, I like the one I use. Whoever did that liked the one they used. Hey, that's that person, the person who wrote the book might have been Mr. Kroll's student teacher or something too. Anyway, that's what I'm expecting you for this term. The due date is August 31st. If you're not able to get the books, to turn it in on time, I'll give you some leeway. I will accept it late, and without penalty. If you're having trouble getting the books, just send me an email telling me, hey, I can't get the books. And, you know, we can play it that way. I'm not going to be too lax, but, I have to give you a break here some way, and like I said, I do want you to complete the class, and I don't want you to feel that, if you can't get the books, you know, you can't do the thing and drop the class right away. Don't drop the class, please. Anyway, also, if you don't want to pay for the books, uh-huh, there are copies at the library, and I don't think you can. I know you can't take them out, but you can borrow them in the library and use them. You just have to come into school to do it. But that'll save you some money, and it'll make sure you get the books. So there will be a way to get through this no matter what. No excuses. All right. I hope you have a nice time doing the work. I hope you enjoy the story. I think you will. It's short. That makes it that much more enjoyable, right? Anyway, um, have a good week. You know, do it when you can. Try to get these things in on time, and set up a regular time to do the work. This will make sure that, you'll have a regular, it'll be a part of your regular schedule. And when the term comes to an end, you'll have completed all your assignments. All right. That's enough from me. Thank you very much. See you next week with a brand new show. Okay. Take care. Be good.